y'all, what's up, what's good? Welcome back to 7 Days of Daily Growth with Nay. I hope you guys are doing well. It's Friday, Health Fridays, Health Topic Fridays, and today we are going to be talking about alcohol. We're going to be talking about alcohol use disorder. So, when you drink too much. And sometimes we don't even know that we drink a lot. I should have sat down and did this because it's so much, but I'm gonna try not to take long because I gotta go to work. And I wanted to go ahead and get this done. I didn't want to have to do it tonight, but I hope you guys are doing well. I'm good. I'm just glad it's Friday. I'm glad it's Friday. And even like, I don't know why I'd be so happy for Fridays because I've never really just rest. But I'm just happy that, like I told y'all last time, I'm just happy y'all gotta go to work. Alcohol use disorder is a pattern of alcohol use that involves problems controlling your drinking, being preoccupied with alcohol, or continuing to use alcohol even when it causes problems. This disorder also involves having to drink more to get the same effect, or having withdrawal symptoms when you rapidly decrease or stop drinking. Alcohol use disorder includes a level of drinking that's sometimes called alcoholism. I couldn't get it right. Unhealthy alcohol use includes any alcohol use that puts your health or safety at risk or causes other alcohol-related problems. It also includes binge drinking, a pattern of drinking where a male has 5 or more drinks within 2 hours, or a female has at least 4 drinks within 2 hours. Binge drinking causes significant health and safety risk. If your pattern of drinking results in repeated significant distress and problems functioning in your daily life, you likely have alcohol disorder. It can range from mild to severe. However, even a mild disorder can escalate and lead to serious problems, so early treatment is important. What's important for my journey in alcohol is that that's like growing up in my environment, all I've seen is alcohol or drug addictions, all around, everywhere I look, everywhere I turn, and a lot of stuff I didn't even realize until I was old enough to understand what was actually going on as far as like drugs and alcohol. And so I started drinking probably 13, and at that point for me, it was just doing it just because, and I just remember just getting toasted sometimes, like really being drunk, for real. And then when I moved, and it really used to be like the summer times, because I think when I was 13, like I think 14 was when I don't know how old I was when I moved away, but once I moved, I think 14. But once I moved away, I wasn't really like drinking unless I went back home for the summer, and I can't really remember if I was drinking that much, but I know like I had started to really drink at 13, and like have been drunk at the age 13, like lit, 14, lit, for real. And like falling down, crazy, laughing, just drunk. And so when I moved away, I think it kind of slowed down, but I can say like sometimes in Colombia, as I got older, we would drink on occasions or whatever, like we'll get a little lit, but it never was like too deep, but we'll drink, definitely, we'll have a good time. And then when I moved to Greenville, it kind of slowed down again. I really didn't drink. I don't really think I drank that much in Greenville until the night I graduated from high school. And I got real lit that night, like crazy lit. And then college. Around the time I went to college is when I started to pick it back up, because I immediately felt that connection where, okay, I'm real have social anxiety, but if I get drunk, I'll be able to have fun. I'll be able to have more courage. It gave me more courage to be more of myself as far as that fun side of me, letting loose, talking, dancing. That was what it was for me. And so from there, that's when I really started to pick it back up again, but like not more so like every day, but before a party, I need to drink. I need to be drunk. Before we go out, I need to drink, need to get drunk, need to be lit, and that went on for years, like drinking, like getting drunk. But for me, it was always special occasions. So in college, when I first started that drinking for real, I needed a chaser. I needed, or a mixed drink. It gotta be sweet. I can't do it straight. But as time went on, I got a little bit older. I no longer needed a chaser. I don't like mixed drinks because I would start to realize like the sweetness didn't mix with my body. Like I can't do, it'll make me sicker. Anything that was, any like alcohol that was real sweet, I couldn't do as I got older. And then I think probably like 20, 21, 22, that's when I really cut out any chasers, anything like straight, like I needed straight. That's it. And then I also realized for me, it's like, I'm a moderate drinker, but like once I get started, it's not moderate anymore. Like I'm drinking to get messed up now. Like I'm gonna keep drinking. Like once I get past that first stage of like okay, this is and once I really like feel it, it's easier for me to throw a drink back because when I first start, it's hard for me to get into it. But once I'm into it, it gets easier for me to drink. Like it becomes nothing after a certain point. And that's the part that would scare me. Like, okay, because when I first start, I'm like, and then after like I'm deep in, I'm in it, and it's no longer nasty. I'm no longer counting. I'm just getting drunk. I don't know. Maybe like last year, I got to a point where I no longer. I could. Well, first of all, I've never really been a shot taker. No, because I've had times when I took shots and been messed up, and I got to a point where I don't want to be hungover. I don't want to feel sick. When I'm hungover, I don't know about nobody else, but I get real hot, real sweaty. You know, the convulsions. I hate throwing up. So having to, vomit and just feel the way you feel, you can't eat. Your stomach can't take nothing. It takes forever for you to get that right. I don't like that. So I don't drink to get drunk anymore. Like for me, I know my limit now. I definitely know my limit. And then now I'm to a point where I don't even want to, get drunk. I don't want to feel, now I'm to a point where I don't want to get drunk. I don't really care for it. At the big old age of 25, I don't really care to be drunk. I don't care to be lit. Like where I'm at now, just a shot or two. Like now I'm in a place where, especially with healing, I'm in a place where I don't need to drink to be myself, to enjoy a time out, to have fun. I just be me, honestly. Like, you have to realize that you're a vibe by yourself. You don't need extra things to get you where you need to be, just to get that courage to have fun, to be open, to open up and stuff. So, to a point now, like right now today, I still got a little bit like liquor that I still have not drunk. Because it just doesn't pull my attention no more. I'm just not like, attracted to it. And that's just me in my journey. I'm just not there anymore. And it's like I got 2 bottles of wine that I have not even opened yet. And I have nothing against wine. I can't wait to open it actually. But even that kind of gets me like real fast. It gets to me real fast. And especially if I have not ate nothing. Like I'm lit early if I don't eat. And I'm just getting to a point where I just don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't know. And I used to be big on, growing up, I used to drink nothing but, I used to dabble, but mostly, I used to drink brown liquor, like, Hennessy and Douce and, when I was younger, E&J, Parmesan, a little bit of Amsterdam, Ciroc. But now my favorite is Patron. That's the tequila. That's the only thing I really drink, but I don't really need too much of it. But I think about last year, I was drinking brown and I don't know, like my body, the next morning my body would be hurting real bad. Like it'd feel like my veins just sore or something. So I was like, no more brown. Like I cut that out. And Patron, like tequila doesn't make me feel that way at all. But like I said, I don't really get drunk either now that I'm drinking tequila a lot. I really don't even get drunk. But a big part of me stopping as well is that not only is it just not me anymore, and I don't like the effects that it has on me, but also it just runs in the family. And what I was just thinking about before I started was that I feel like some of us, I kind of know that some of us are wired differently. So some of us can do certain things and it doesn't really have that effect on us as it does other people. And I think it just has something to do with genetics. Both my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, and my great uncle, his brother, both passed away from long-term drinking problems. Like their long-term drinking eventually caused them health problems, and that eventually caused them to pass away. And that's just not far off in the line. That's my dad's dad. That's my dad's uncle, you know. So for me, I started to think like, what if, because I've been into alcohol since 13, known it since 13, even though I have not been like this heavy drinker. I don't drink every night, every day. Really, I feel like I drink on occasions, but sometimes occasions have been, I went out like twice in a row, or, I wouldn't say every weekend, but maybe 2 weekends out of the month, or 2 or 3, just, it was more than just once a month, basically. But to me, still occasions. And so, as I get older and I think about that and I think about them, I think about, how I feel when I drink. And it just makes me think, like, is it possible for me to, get any type of problems when it comes to me drinking? And so, I don't want to have that happen either. Like, I don't want to be drinking and then one day I get a checkup and they say, like, you have this because you've been known to drink a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't want that to be an issue for me. And I don't know if he's up there, since he's been gone, just kind of urging me not to really indulge in alcohol, because I really don't. Like, it faded away. It's just not who I am anymore. It's just not a part of me. And so, yeah, like, but it's, I can look at my sisters and stuff. They drink a lot too. I can look at my family, my immediate family. They drink a lot, but not just on my dad's side. Not everybody, but, my granddaddy's side, definitely. His side are heavy drinkers. I'm just being honest. But also my grandfather on my mom's side, heavy drinker. People on her side are heavy drinkers as well. Not a lot of people, but, but I would say mostly my dad's side, definitely are the heavy drinkers. My dad is a drinker. My uncles are heavy drinkers. And so it's just something that I've known and seen all my life. So, when it's presented to me at a young age, I'm going to take it. Like, even growing up, if I didn't see alcohol, I would see beers, like beer drinkers, heavy beer drinkers too. Not just alcohol, but heavy beer drinkers. But that's basically the same thing. But, beer, alcohol, they have 2 different names. But yeah, liquor, liquor and beer. So, but they're both alcohol. But yeah, so when it was presented to me, of course, this is all I've known, all I've seen growing up drinking. So it must be a good thing, right? It must not be bad to take a drink or two. And then when you keep doing it and you see how it makes you feel, it makes you more open, makes you a little bit more freer, gives you a little bit more courage. It's easier to indulge in it because you know that other person. You've now met another person when you drink. So now it's easier for you to drink because that person's fun. That's a different person. That's not who I just was 30 minutes ago. Now I'm more open to conversation. I'm more open to other people. I'm more open to dancing and singing and, having more fun than I was 30 minutes ago. So I just wanted to do a little background on that before I get into the facts. And I need to hurry up. I really do, y'all. And even if you don't drink every day, I still feel like you still can deal with alcohol problems. Like, I feel like even if you don't drink every day, but you drink every weekend, or you drink every other day, or even if you drink on occasion, but when you drink on that occasion, you abuse it instead of doing it moderately, you might have, like, like it says, a mild problem. Because, it says alcohol use disorder can be mild, moderate, or severe based on the number of symptoms you experience. Some signs and symptoms can include being able to limit the amount of alcohol you drink, wanting to cut down on how much you drink or making unsuccessful attempts to do so, spending a lot of time drinking, getting alcohol, or recovering from alcohol use, feeling a strong craving or urge to drink alcohol, failing to fulfill major obligations at work, school, or home due to repeated alcohol use, continuing to drink alcohol even though you know it's causing physical, social, work, or relationship problems, giving up or reducing social and work activities and hobbies to use alcohol, using alcohol in situations where it's not safe, such as driving or swimming, developing a tolerance to alcohol so you need more to feel its effect, or you have a reduced effect from the same amount, experiencing withdrawal symptoms such as nausea, sweating, and shaking when you don't drink, or drinking to avoid these symptoms. So I'm gonna go ahead and do, I know they like when they tell y'all in I think they do this in school, but I'm not sure. But and like I always say, this website is going to be in the description box, and also always do your own research if you feel like you need to. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism defines one standard drink as any of these: 12 ounces of regular beer, about 5% alcohol, 8 to 9 ounces of malt liquor, 7% alcohol, 5 ounces of wine, about 12% alcohol, 1.5 ounces of hard liquor or distilled spirits, about 40% alcohol. So, I guess like this is basically saying this is what you should drink if you're going to drink. If you're going to keep it moderate and you don't want to make it a problem, just have that drink. Because you get addicted to that feeling. You get addicted to, how it makes you feel, that other person that you become after you drink and get drunk. You become addicted to that, When to see a doctor. If you feel that sometimes drinking too much alcohol or your drinking is causing problems, or if your family is concerned about your drinking, talk with your doctor. Other ways to get help include talking with a mental health professional or seeking help from a support group, such as Alcoholics Anonymous or a similar type of help group. So get help, If it is, again, like the symptoms I just read off, being able to limit what you drink. Like for me now, like I don't ever think I probably abused alcohol before, definitely. Addicted, I wouldn't say so. And so, I'm able, like where I'm at now, for me, I think it was just something that just helped, it just helps in certain situations. It makes things easier. And so to definitely deal with, no matter what that looks like for you, even if that means trauma, or you need some courage, or you just want to have fun, but you're like, socially anxious. It helps. So now I know it's not something that is for me. So I can like take a shot or two and I'm good. Like I don't want no more. It's not, I don't really care to do it at all, really. But I am gonna finish that bottle because that costs money. But and I'm gonna drink that wine too. But I'm just being honest, But being able to limit that amount as a symptom, When you say, okay, I just need a shot, but then you continuously drink, that's a problem. Feeling that strong craving is a symptom, That's when you have a problem. When you're craving it. When it's interfering with work and school, when it's interfering with how you treat your family or how you deal with your family, that's a problem. That's when you know it's a problem. Like those symptoms I just read, go back and look through them. That's when you know it's a problem. Because denial is common, you may feel like you don't have a problem with drinking. You might not recognize how much you drink or how many problems in your life are related to alcohol use. You might not know that, you're stressed out and that's why you drink. But when you're not so much stressed out, like for me, smoking, I realized like you have to figure out what correlates with what. Like I realized that when I'm stressed, I smoke. That's a correlation. Stress and smoking. So when you're stressed and you pick up a drink, sometimes we don't realize we're stressed. We just feel like, oh, I need a drink. But you're not realizing that you're stressed. And when you realize that you drink because you're stressed, you then are able to work on your stress. We just talked about stress. Work on ways to manage your stress so that needing a drink when you're feeling stressed is not what you do. It's not where you go. You manage it in a more healthy way. Listen to relatives, friends, or coworkers when they ask you to examine your drinking habits or to seek help. Consider talking with someone who has had a problem with drinking but has stopped. It's always good to talk to people that have been through it and gotten through it. Sometimes it's even okay to talk to people that are still struggling because they know what it feels like to struggle and to try and try and try. Even if they haven't succeeded, I feel like hearing people's stories and experiences on certain things are very helpful because you get that insight on what it took them through and how they made it through or how they're making it through. And I feel like that'll give you insight on your own life. It'll open your eyes and help you. If anybody that you love needs your help, many people with alcohol use disorder hesitate to get treatment because they don't recognize that they have a problem. Denial. I got gospel playing today, y'all. Denial. The action of declaring something to be untrue. Nah, man, I ain't no alcoholic. Okay. Sorry, it's not funny, but it's true. We can be in denial about all that stuff, Nah, I don't smoke that much weed. Whole time, whole pothead. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm over him. Alright, stink. An intervention from loved ones can help some people recognize and accept that they need professional help. If you're concerned about someone who drinks too much, ask a professional experienced in alcohol treatment for advice on how to approach that person. So one thing about it, and it's a lot of information. I know for me, I hate unsolicited advice and opinions. Like, I don't want nobody to come over here, like, especially if you're on the outside looking in. I don't want nobody to barge into my life and say, you need help, you need to do this, you spend too much on this, blah blah blah, blah, blah. Did I ask? No, I didn't ask. I don't like that. So especially the way that some people tend to do it, in the most rude, again, unsolicited way. Like, they just barge into your life and try to give you advice or try to help you and you never ask for it. So for me, I always let people come to me. Always. If somebody needs my help, advice, I let them ask me. I don't never, like, don't ask me if you don't want to hear it. I'm one of those. Don't ask me if you don't want to hear my advice. So if you don't want to hear if you ask me, do you think I drank too much? I'm going to tell you and I'm going to give you advice, or I'm going to give my opinion. If you don't want to hear it, don't ask me. And that's why I am. Like, I don't care for people's opinions or advice, so that's why I don't really ask, But I get it when it says, ask somebody how you can help somebody that you care about, that you're worried about. And that goes with any type of trauma, any type of problem. If you feel like they got PTSD or if they're suicidal, ask somebody how you can approach them, because it's the way you do things. It's the way that you approach somebody when you feel like they have a problem or you feel like something's going on. You approach them in a way that doesn't feel like you're attacking them or just barging into their life, because you see it. You see stuff as clear as day. You got to give that to us as humans. We do see stuff as clear as day. So if you see somebody struggling, I see it. Even if they try to hide it, you see it. But you're still on the outside looking in. Just no matter if it's your mom, your dad, your sister, your best friend, you still are on the outside looking in because it's their life. And if you really, really want to help, try to find a way that you can help where it does not feel like you're attacking them or barging in on their life when you really don't know the roots of the problem. So find a way to really, really come to them and get their attention where they don't feel like you're coming for them in their life to a point where you push them away, because that's possible. When you barge into somebody's life and you try to give advice and you don't really know what's going on, you don't really know the root of the problem, all you know is what you see. This person drinks a lot. This person's always talking about, not wanting to be here. That's all you know, but you don't really know the root. So try to get to the root, but not even try to, you know, barricade them with questions and advice, but just listening. Just listening. Just asking simply, like, you know, everything good? You okay? Anything you want to talk about? But definitely just, if you feel the need to, ask somebody how you can help. Ask somebody that is a professional. Like, let's say I go to a doctor's appointment. I can just simply ask my doctor, hey, I know somebody that's dealing with alcohol problems. How can I go to them and talk to them? You know, how can I get them to talk to me? What can I say? How can I approach them? Because it's all about how you approach, your tone, the language, what you say, your body language, everything. Because you will push them away if you don't come correct. You're just the outsider looking in, so you gotta come correct every time when you want to help somebody. I really should have sat down and did this. That's all I'm like. So, cause it's not that I don't have any energy, but you know, I got some things going on, so I'm just kind of like, I'm good. It's been a great morning, you know, but at the same time, I'm just trying to make it through. Amen. So, but when I was looking through this, all this information is real good. So I really wanted to touch base on all of it. But if I don't, feel free to always do your research. A lot of us don't feel like, especially when we're young people, we don't feel like alcohol is affecting us or it's a problem until we're older. And we go to the doctor, and when they tell us, like, yo, you got this. And you like, what? Yeah, you know, are you a heavy drinker? Have you been drinking? And you sit there and tell your doctor, yeah, man, I've been drinking since I'm 13, 14. They're going to be looking at you like, yeah. It has an effect on you. Especially when you drink a lot. So don't ever think it's not affecting you. It is affecting you. It is killing you. Causes of alcohol use disorder. Genetic, psychological, social, and environmental. Where you from? The environment you grow in. Factors can impact how drinking alcohol affects your body and behavior. If you grew up in a house where all you saw was somebody drinking, especially to cope, when you understand that they were using it to cope, you might take that picture and take it along with you. You know? So now that's how you cope. But I can say sometimes we as children, and you know, as we grow up, we see a lot of stuff, and we do run the opposite way of it. That's true. Or we don't, it's not as bad as what our eyes have seen growing up. We don't treat it as bad. We don't abuse it as badly as we've seen, but we still, you know, gravitate towards it, but it's just not as bad. So that's a good thing. Sometimes, you know, what we see really doesn't really affect us as much, because we see what it does, and we like, you know, I don't ever want to be like that. You know, I don't ever want to go through this. I don't ever want to have these problems. I don't want my kids, my own kids, to see this. So I do feel like in certain situations, environmental can, you know, have a good impact, because you grow up and you don't want to do none of it. Like, I saw what it did to my parents, my grandparents. I don't want no parts, you know. Some of us do get that mindset, but also some of us just, again, I want to, but, and then when we get a taste of it, it sticks, because you understand, like, especially when you grow up and you already dealing with stuff, and you know, you get a taste and you see how it makes you feel, and it makes you forget, you know, and it helps you realize that it's helping you deal with your own problems, just like it helped, you know, your parents or your grandparents deal with their problems. You're realizing now, like, okay, this helps me cope too. Even at the time, at certain ages, you don't realize that you're coping with stuff. Just like when I started smoking, I didn't realize I was coping until I realized that I was coping. Once I realized that it was a coping mechanism, that's when it really boosted up. But honestly, I can say that drinking alcohol has never been a way for me to cope with any of my problems, except for my anxiety. Social situations, going out, makes a whole different person. Like, being able to just open up more. That's the only use for it, to have fun. Like, I don't sit in my bed and be stressed out and, you know, or deal, like when I was dealing with depression, I smoked. I didn't drink every night or anything. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a drink every night before I go to bed, or, you know, oh, I had a stressful day, let me have a drink. I don't think like that. I don't do that. You know, occasionally I have had a day and I'd be like, oh, I just feel like drinking, you know? That's rare for me to say that. Theories suggest that for certain people, drinking has a different and stronger impact that can lead to alcohol use disorder. I literally just said that some of us are wired differently. So some of us, it's going to hit differently. And I feel like especially if it's something that runs in your family. If it runs in your family, it's going to hit a little different. Over time, drinking too much alcohol may change the normal function of the areas of your brain associated with the experience of pleasure, judgment, and the ability to exercise control over your behavior. This may result in craving alcohol to try to restore good feelings or reduce negative ones. It takes away a lot, and so you feel like you need it now. Like, it takes away the fact that you have a lot of pleasure in you. So now you feel like you need a drink to get that pleasure popping. You know what I'm saying? Or it's taking away your ability to control your behavior. So now you feel like you got a drink to be in control of yourself. You get what I'm saying? It's taking away those things to make you feel like you need to drink more. Like, the more you drink, it's affecting you, but it's also making you feel like you need more of it. Risk factors. Alcohol use may begin in teens, but alcohol use disorder occurs more frequently in the 20s and 30s, though it can start at any age. So risk factors. Steady drinking over time. Drinking too much on a regular basis for an extended period or binge drinking on a regular basis can lead to alcohol-related problems or alcohol use disorder. Starting at an early age. People who begin drinking, especially binge drinking, at an early age are at a higher risk of alcohol use disorder. So basically, these things are risk factors, basically. So if I started drinking at an early age, I'm more likely to grow up and abuse alcohol. But thank God that was not it. I really don't care for it. Family history is also a risk. I just spoke on it. The risk of alcohol use disorder is higher for people who have a parent or other close relatives who has problems with alcohol. This may be influenced by genetic factors. Like I said, on my paternal side, my dad's side, heavy drinkers. Sometimes all I see. And sometimes even as an adult, you know, seeing it, I'm finna get lit too. Like, I can't wait to get lit with the family. You know what I'm saying? Drunk. You know, right there with my daddy. I'm being honest though, you know, it's true. Or, you know, just depression and other mental health problems. It's common for people with a mental health disorder such as anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, or bipolar disorder to have problems with alcohol or other substances. History of trauma is a risk factor. People with a history of emotional trauma or other trauma are at increased risk of alcohol use disorder. I had to turn the fan on, I'm a little toasty. I don't even know what this is. It's saying having a surgery, a bariatric surgery. Some research studies indicate that having a bariatric surgery may increase the risk of developing alcohol use disorder or of relapsing after recovering from alcohol use disorder. I don't know what that is, so if you want to know what that is, look it up. I'm not going to look it up because I'm on a time frame. And it's about time for me to wrap it up. Social and cultural factors. Having friends or a close partner who drinks regularly could increase your risk of alcohol use disorder. The glamorous way that drinking is sometimes portrayed in the media also may send the message that it's okay to drink too much. For young people, the influence of parents, peers, and other role models can impact risk. I think I was a little, not only is it genetic, but I think also I had allowed myself to be influenced as far as drinking. Complications. Alcohol depresses your central nervous system. In some people, the initial reaction may feel like an increase in energy, but as you continue to drink, you become drowsy and have less control over your actions. Too much alcohol affects your speech, muscle coordination, and vital sensors of your brain. A heavy drinking binge may even cause a life-threatening coma or death. This is of particular concern when you're taking certain medications that also depress the brain's function. Definitely, I remember one night I got so lit, speech impacted everywhere. One night I got drunk and drove, and I tell y'all, I didn't have to go far. When I tell y'all, I was happy. I'm not gonna lie, I felt good. I felt great. I did. I'm not gonna lie. But that ride, it felt like it was one of the best rides I ever took, honestly. I'm not lying. I can't lie to y'all. I'm not lying. But it was one of the craziest ones because I don't even know how I made it. But at the same time, like everything was bright, shining, like, oh Lord. Jesus, I'm telling you. I don't have some time drinking now. Impact on your safety. Excessive drinking can reduce your judgment skills and lower inhibitions, leading to poor choices and dangerous situations or behaviors, including motor vehicle accidents and other types of accidental injuries such as drowning. Just like I said, drinking and drowning, but thank God, you know. Relationship problems. Poor performance at work or school. Increased likelihood of committing violent crimes or being the victim of a crime. Legal problems or problems with employment or finances. Problems with other substance abuse. Engaging in risky, unprotected sex, or experiencing sexual abuse or date rape. Increased risk of attempted or completed suicide. So, you know, you get lit and, you know, you want to drink and then you want to drive, and that could hurt you. You get drunk and, you know, you have relationship problems. You know, it affects your relationships because drinking affects you. It affects your behavior. So then you have a tendency to take it out on your partner, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. It can affect school, work. If you're drinking before you go to school, before you go to work, you can get hurt. And then again, it also can cause you to start taking other drugs. Like, you already lit, somebody be like, take this pill. You probably gonna take it. Me, never. But I'm just saying, like, it happens. And then now you got another problem. So I think that this is let me see. Okay, we almost done. I am gonna do all of it. I'm almost done. Okay. So, impact on your health. Drinking too much alcohol on a single occasion or over time can cause health problems, including, I do not know what my grandfather and my great uncle passed away from, but I believe it was a liver disease, I believe, but I'm not for sure. So the first thing it does say is liver disease. Heavy drinking can cause increased fat in the liver and inflammation of the liver. Over time, heavy drinking can cause irreversible destruction and scarring of liver tissue. I gotta ask my dad, but I think it was their liver. They had liver problems. Digestive problems, heart problems. Excessive drinking can lead to high blood pressure and increase your risk of an enlarged heart failure, or stroke. Even a single binge can cause serious irregular heartbeats, called atrial fibrillation. So just be careful, you know, because again, we all are wired different. We're all wired differently, and genetics play a role in drinking. And so, not even that, you know, because I have family members that drink a lot, that means I'm gonna drink a lot, but also just the fact that I have two family members that passed away from that, my grandfather and my great uncle. So it only probably will take me one time to really drink, and now I got a health problem because it must run in my family. You know what I'm saying? So just be aware. Just be aware. And I'm not going to read out all of these. That's why when I said digestive problems, I didn't read it. But digestive problems, inflammation of the stomach lining. That might have been, I don't know. I have to ask. Ulcers and stuff come with that. Diabetes complication. Alcohol interferes with the release of glucose from your liver and increases the risk of low blood sugar. This is dangerous if you have diabetes and are already taking insulin or some other diabetes medication to lower your blood sugar levels. I don't know if I was telling y'all about this, but I believe alcohol affects my blood sugar. I believe it does as well. I didn't know that at first until I started having those problems where my hands were shaking because I wasn't eating, and I had went to the doctor and they said my blood sugar was low and stuff like that. But I did notice, you know, like my body feels funny when I drink, you know. So that's why I slowed down too. I don't want those problems. I don't need them. And I do know that my blood can get really low, like if I don't eat, or, you know, and I believe alcohol is one of those things that make my blood sugar low. Issues with sexual functions and periods. Heavy drinking can cause men to have difficult maintaining an erection. In women, heavy drinking can cause So in men, heavy drinking can cause men to have difficulty maintaining issues with sexual function and periods, eye problems, birth defects. Alcohol use during pregnancy may cause miscarriage. It may also cause fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. FASDs can cause a child to be born with physical and developmental problems that last a lifetime. Bone damage, neurological complications, weakened immune system. Excessive alcohol can make it harder for your body to resist disease, increasing your risk of various illnesses, especially pneumonia. Increased risk of cancer. Medication and alcohol interactions. Some medications interact with alcohol, increasing its toxic effects. Drinking while taking these medications can either increase or decrease their effectiveness or make them dangerous. Prevention. How to prevent alcohol use disorder. Early intervention can prevent alcohol-related problems in teens. If you have a teenager, be alert to signs and symptoms that may indicate a problem with alcohol. Loss of interest in activities and hobbies and in personal appearances. Red eyes, slurred speech, problems with coordination and memory lapses. Difficulties or changes in relationships with friends, such as joining a new crowd, declining grades, and problems in school. Frequent mood changes and defensive behavior. You can help prevent teenage alcohol use by setting a good example with your own alcohol use. Talk openly with your child, spend quality time together, and become actively involved in your child's life. Let your child know what behavior you expect and what the consequences will be for not following the rules. And also, like when it says talk openly, pull up something like this. Pull up facts, information, so that you can tell them why you don't want them drinking and how drinking at a young age can become a problem for them. I'm surprised it doesn't have any prevention about for like older people, but approximately 10% of adult Americans either abuse alcohol or are dependent on it, and women make up 1/3 of alcoholics in the U.S. Interestingly, data also indicates that compared with white women, a large percentage of black women abstain from drinking. Blacks of the early 19th century showed a strong support for the American temperance movement and boasted unusually low rates of alcohol problems. Our ancestors participated in a number of groups and societies such as the Women's Christian Temperance Union and the Independent Order of Good Templars. By the early 20th century, however, our participation in the temperance movement had declined. As we migrated from the rural South to the urban North, nightlife and heavy drinking became the focus of many city dwellers. And for many blacks, cheap wine, beer, and bathtub gin became a way to cope with the change in environment. More important than hard numbers are the frightening effects that alcoholism has on our community. African Americans who drink excessively suffer the most severe consequences. Black rates of cirrhosis of the liver and esophageal cancer, diseases closely associated with alcohol use, are disproportionate to our percentage of the American population. Besides these serious risks, if you are trying to lose weight, you should cut down on alcohol or cut it out altogether. Liquor has little or no nutritional value aside from calories, and many of the concoctions that are added to alcohol to make mixed drinks are laden with sugar. Remember, the term beer belly was coined for a reason. Definitely. People do be having beer bellies. Black women often have different patterns of drinking. Although alcoholism has a hereditary link, twin studies show that genetics may account for 50% of the factors that determine vulnerability to excessive drinking. Experts note that we often drink to self-medicate, to quell the disappointments, pain, anger, and rage that characterize our lives. Slave owners of the past knew the value of this kind of escape alcoholism. Black slaves were provided with alcohol on holidays to keep them passive and under control. So, again, I'm going to say this one more time. Men, no more than 2 drinks per day. Women, no more than 1 drink per day. That is the guidelines defined in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. That's moderate drinking. And then I already gave you guys the 12 ounces of beer and stuff like that. Experts also warn that some people shouldn't drink at all, not even moderately. Women who are trying to conceive and get pregnant, or pregnant women already, recovering alcoholics, people who are driving or engaging in activities that require skill or attention, people taking certain medications, people with certain medical conditions already. And then this book just has a little bit of questions about just trying to see if you are dependent on alcohol. Like when you're out partying, do you often try to have a few drinks behind your friend's back? Do you feel uneasy if alcohol isn't accessible? Do you often want to keep on drinking after your friends have had enough? Do you often drink alone, away from family and friends? Are you sometimes drunk for several days at a time? Do you sometimes have the shakes in the morning and find that a little taste of something calms you down? Are you often depressed or anxious before, during, or after a period of heavy drinking? If you answered yes to any of these questions, it doesn't mean you're necessarily an alcoholic, but it does mean you should take an honest look at yourself and consider a change in your drinking habits. An additional question to ask yourself: is there someone in your life who is concerned about your drinking? If so, seek professional advice. And then it just goes on to talk about getting help and stuff like that. You know, get help. Talk to somebody that you trust. Talk to your doctor. And I know I say like it's hard to let people like barge into your life and help you, but if you have somebody that really cares about you and they come to you, and if it's not on no rude or, you know, amendment, or, you know, you're gonna stop drinking, stuff like that, they're not fussing and yelling, if they really come to you and they really want to help you, definitely try to listen and get help, y'all. Get help. It's not all it's caked up to be. It's just sometimes we use it to cope. Sometimes we use it to have a little bit more fun. And, you know, if you're not doing it moderately, 1 drink a day or 2 drinks a day. They said a day though, like you can drink. Obviously, you can drink every day, obviously. But I don't agree with that either. Because if you're drinking a drink every day and you continuously drinking it every day, wouldn't that cause a problem too? I would think. But I don't know. But yeah, it can be a problem. It can have long-term effects, especially if it runs in your family. I know it runs in mine. So, you know, just that thought, and just also getting older and it just not doing it for me no more, just not being it. And also on my healing journey and realizing that I can be more of myself without it. Because that was my biggest thing, you know. I love to use it as an excuse to have more fun, a little bit more courage, or just really be myself. And really, I just had to grow into who I am. And that's being who I am. That's being myself. Growing into who I really am, and growing to who I really am has taken me away from the fact that I feel like I need to drink. I don't. So just really be honest with yourself when it comes to, you know, how you use alcohol. And if it's a problem, really a problem, if something that you can't stop on your own, try to get help. But if you're noticing that you're abusing it, like you're doing it every weekend, or you feel like you're stressed and you need a drink and you're just doing it just to do it, I feel like it might not be a problem. So just try to like limit it, or limit the way you speak about it. Like, I need a drink. No, you don't need a drink. Like for me, I had to stop saying I need to smoke. Anytime I say I need to smoke, I know that whatever has just happened that's caused me to say I need to smoke is a stressor, and I need to exit that out of my life. Like I used to say all the time, like if I deal with you and we deal with issues and I say I need to smoke, I don't need to be dealing with you. You know what I'm saying? So get that help that you need. Y'all, I have to go. I really wish I could, you know, dig a little deeper on this, but I feel like I gave y'all a lot of information that was very much needed. Do your own research. Get out there, and if it relates, do what you need to do to better your health, better your lifestyle. Health equals wealth. A healthy lifestyle is amazing to have. Makes you a little bit more happier, a little bit more lighter on your feet. Don't let alcohol destroy you, or destroy your growth, or destroy your health in life. It's not that deep. You know, you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. Like, it's recommended that you can have one. Even in the Bible, I was just saying, like, God never said you can drink wine. He just said that you don't need to be so drunk that then you do wrong after, you sin after, you start acting a fool after, because that's where the problem comes in. Trust me. That's another reason why I try to cut out drinking, because when I get drunk, I get in my feelings, or I either want to have sex. I'm just being honest. I'm either real sad about some stuff, or I want to be nasty, and I'm not there. You know, I'm not in either one of those boats. But I realized that correlation, and that's another reason why I cut it out. 1 or 2 shots is fine with me. I'm good. But I have to go to work. I'm already late. I hope you guys have had a wonderful Friday. I hope it has been a safe one. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay beautiful. Y'all be patient. Y'all be kind. Be humble. Show compassion. Be gentle. Love is within you. Be love. Show love. Spread love. You are light. Shine your light. Be you. Nobody else can be you. Be healthy. Work on living a healthier lifestyle. You know, if you're using something to cope, whether it's alcohol or drugs or sex or whatever, figure out why. Get to the root of the problem. Get some help. Talk to somebody. Because that's not healthy when you're using something negative to cope. To feel better. You know. I love you all from my heart to yours.